Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Peters, and I am on a swing in my yard. We still have a swing set that we built 23 years ago when our youngest son was 4 and now he's 27. But we keep it and neighborhood kids play on it. So anyway, I sometimes swing on it too. Chapter 11, Mr. Canid makes some plans. It was still raining. In the middle of the pond, Mr. Canid used his webbed feet to propel himself swiftly across the water with strong, steady strokes. There was something mighty fine about swimming enough to make one fit as a fiddle. Now and again he lifted his head and let the pattering rain soak him even more. "Bless my teeth and smooth my tail," he murmured. "I do love water." Then he thought hard as to how best to express his feelings in words that had a real impact. Though it took some hard thinking, he worked it out. The whole thing is, he decided, it never rains, but it should rain a lot. When Mr. Canid said the phrase out loud, biting off the last T with his large orange teeth, he enjoyed it so much he repeated it to himself. It never rains, but it should do it a lot. A lot. I must use that, he told himself. Perhaps during the next company meeting. They would appreciate it. They would. With his strong paws, Mr. Canid pulled himself onto the bank, gave himself a shake, sending water in all directions, then turned to survey what had been achieved by the beaver's work. In the little valley through which the brook had flowed, there had been, in Mr. Canid's mind, a dull, dreary landscape, with little to behold but a piddling stream without power or grandeur. It had no depth. Its banks were wasteful in their simple, sloping nature. Why, the water itself had no texture or color. One could see through it. Limpid lily pads and useless bulrushes had marred its lazy surface. The animals who had wasted their time on the banks, mice, voles, otters, and toads, were insignificant. As far as Mr. Canid was concerned, it had been a place where nothing important happened, and nothing important ever had or would happen, an utter waste. But now, how different the beavers had made it. Every day the pond was growing wider, deeper, grander. It had taken on the vibrant color of mud. It was a home for hardy, busy beavers who worked day and night. This, Mr. Canid said to himself with genuine pride, is, and I'll show you the picture. This is him. This is progress. The portly beaver felt so good about it, he spelled the word out letter by letter. Progress. And yet, Mr. Canid had to confess he was not fully satisfied. No, he was not. What he and his company had created was, he had to admit it, merely a pond. Mind, he told himself, there was nothing wrong with a pond. A beaver who built a good pond had every reason to be pleased with himself. Yet even the word pond suggested smallness, a compactness of size which might be good enough for some, but not for the likes of Castor P. Canid and Company. Not only could they do better, they should do better. As Mr. Canid saw things, it was not a pond that was needed, but a lake. The beaver cast his keen engineer's eye over the little valley. To achieve a lake, they needed to build another dam higher up. As he surveyed the little valley, he noticed a boulder perched on a hill. A large boulder. It was embedded in an outcropping of earth and stone. Flowers and shrubs shaded it. As Mr. Canid perceived it, the boulder was doing nothing but sitting there, but it could be providing the perfect anchor for a new dam. So this is what he's looking at. He is seeing that boulder up on the hill that is the Ragweed's family's home. As he surveyed the little valley, he noticed a boulder perched on the hill. A large boulder, it was embedded in an outcropping of earth and stone. Flowers and shrubs shaded it. As Mr. Kennedy perceived it, the boulder was doing nothing but sitting there. But it could be providing the perfect anchor for a new dam, an immense dam. With a dam at that spot, a large lake could be created. It would be his crowning achievement, a monument to himself. Indeed, what could be a better name than Lake Canid? Mr. Canid liked the sound of it so much, he said it a few times. Then he reminded himself with some gleeful rubbing of back feet that it was time to stop dreaming, time to get down to the nitty-gritty, to grasp the nettle, to get into the trenches, to show the flag, to hit the road running. But even as he watched and planned, he saw a mouse creep out from under the boulder and rush away. Mr. Canid knew what that meant. Mice were living under the boulder. As far as he knew, these mice were the only ones left around the brook. Most of the other creatures had departed. How pleasing to know there had been no resistance. Surely these last mice would quickly see the hopelessness of resisting the future. But what if they did not? He could swat them away. Mere nothings that they were, squashing the mice would be easy, though the thought made Mr. Kennedy uncomfortable. He was no bully. He just wanted progress. He wanted the world to appreciate him for the good he was doing. What he needed to do was find a way to convince the mice to leave of their own accord. It would make him feel good. Nothing was more important than to make good on their slogan, progress without pain. Mr. Kennedy dove back into the pond and made his way to the main lodge. When he came within 5 feet of it, he dove and swam under until he found the entrance. Mr. Kennedy went to his plans, laid out on bark, and began to draw in detail. The boulder here, the large new dam there, the lake everywhere. Then he mused, if I can make a lake, well, bless my teeth and smooth my tail, why not an ocean? The thought made Mr. Kennedy grin broadly. Then he said, it never rains, but it should do it a lot. On me. Then he gave himself over to finding a way to convince those last few mice that they should move away. And that is the end of chapter 11. So, miss you, miss being at school, and wish you well, and look forward to when we see each other again. So, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.